As the people of the region move forward in this process, the United States will continue to encourage a credible transition to democracy that responds to their legitimate aspirations. In my own particular area of responsibility, which is economics, let me emphasize that we are also committed to working together to expand economic opportunity. The United States has had a long and strong economic set of relationships with many of the countries of the Middle East. These economic relationships have been strategic and, in most cases, mutually beneficial for the United States, for the economies of this region, and for the global economy. They've also been designed to promote peace and advancement of all peoples. Early in my career in government, which Wendy talked about earlier, I was advisor to Dr. Kissinger during the period of what was known as shuttle diplomacy in the middle part of the 1970s. So I have seen at that point how we used economic policy and economic assistance to achieve not only economic growth, but also to advance peacemaking in the region. I've also seen how the United States has worked in partnership with the people of the region to improve living standards and development. In Egypt alone, which is really at the center of what is going on at the moment in terms of the Arab Spring, over the past 30 years, the United States has provided economic assistance that has totaled over $28 billion, and that has had a number of very positive outcomes. Among those are helping to double literacy levels, helping to improve access to clean water and sanitation. Much of the sanitation system and the water system of Cairo was built with American assistance, helping to enhance health care in order to help to eradicate polio, decrease child mortality by 80%, which has been the case in Egypt, and also added 15 years to the life expectancy of the average citizen, and finally to modernize the Egyptian banking system. These are not all done because of the United States, but they are done with participation of assistance from the United States, from groups such as the World Bank, the UNDP, and other groups. But the fact is, the United States can feel proud that it participated in these things. And it also illustrates that not everything that happened over this last 30 years or so was bad. Some real progress was made. The problem was that it was not enough, and it didn't benefit enough people in tangible ways, particularly as it relates to job creation and participation in their economies. Our participation and our partnership with the region also includes significant trade and investment ties, which benefit the region through both job creation and knowledge creation. Nevertheless, I think it's important that we be honest with ourselves about the shortcomings that have existed and the difficulties we now face. We have learned a lot by what we have done, and we hope, as a result of what we've learned, to be able to improve our assistance in the future. Despite progress in key areas, growth in the region has not been what we call inclusive growth. It has benefited some, but it has not benefited a great many people. Quite simply, many people in the region have not had the opportunity to participate productively in their economies or in their societies. Economies have not created enough jobs, particularly for younger people, as we see on the streets of Cairo and Tunis and many other places. Indeed, before the start of the protests, unemployment among the young college-educated Egyptian population had already reached 33%, the second highest rate in the world after the Philippines. Unemployment has been exacerbated by high levels of corruption and oligopolistic practices that shut out talented young people from the chance to start their own businesses or derive benefits from the growth of the economy. And it also has made it difficult for small and medium-sized businesses to grow or to be established in the first place. So a lot of small and medium-sized companies that are big job creators in places like the United States didn't have a fertile ground for being started or growing in places like Egypt or other parts of the Middle East. Education systems in the region have often been substandard. Scientific innovation has lagged. The democratic deficits and the gender gaps have taken their toll on economic performance. The gender gap's a particularly important problem. In this current environment, in this modern world, no society that does not give full participation to women to enable them to be productive participants in their economy, which means depriving 50% of their people or a large portion of that 50% of opportunity, is going to be able to succeed in this increasingly competitive world. So the gender issue is a very important issue socially and very important economically. Countries that give greater roles to women, utilizing the strengths of women, are more likely to do well in this world than those who do not, and the evidence is quite extraordinary and quite clear on that point. And national economies also have been characterized by a limited connection to each other and to the wider global economy. The connectivity through trade is not as great as it should be, and as it is for many other countries. To cite just one figure, if you take out energy exports, the entire region, the entire MENA region, of more than 400 people exports less to the rest of the world than Switzerland. Bear that in mind. It shows how little connection there really is on the trade front. Since the start of the Arab Spring, the region has suffered additional short-term economic dislocations. For example, in Egypt, the sudden collapse of tourism has put an estimated 2 million Egyptians out of work and may lead to a $4 billion to $7 billion decline in revenues in 2011 from the 2010 levels. Egypt has also suffered from the loss of remittances from Libya, where nearly 1 million Egyptians had previously been employed. The challenges of increased energy and food costs have also hit many countries hard, Egypt being one, but many other countries of the region as well. These are difficult challenges, but we do not want to see economic stagnation hamper the region's efforts to implement democratic transitions. On the contrary, we believe that promoting opportunity and democracy are inextricably linked together. And that means we must match effective economic reform to genuine political and social change so that cronyism and closed economies do not continue to choke off opportunity and participation. That's why we will support economic and political improvements that achieve tangible results for the people of this region.